Welcome, everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over the learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to perform rotation movements on geometric figures. How are we learning it? Through the rotations notes and the rotations assignment. When can we use this information? To set the time on a non-digital clock. How do you know you learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the rotations assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We will begin by going over the learning goals and success criteria. While we do that, you'll fill out your Get It Started. Once you've completed your Get It Started, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. After that, we'll go over the rotations notes, and then I'll give you time to complete the rotations assignment on Desmos. Once you've completed the assignment, we'll go over it together and answer any questions that you may have. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria while you fill out your Before You Go. Your only homework for tonight is to continue working on the Transformation Study Guide and any incomplete assignments that you may have. Let's take a look now at the rotations notes. The notes begin with the learning goals and success criteria. Now, what is a rotation? A rotation looks like this. So we have Woody's head here, and it spins around. So rotations are spin movements. So it's a spin of a figure around a point. So we have a triangle here. If we were to spin it, it ends up being this triangle here. Now, introduction to rotations. We have our triangle here. If we were to spin it to the right, it would look like that. If we were to spin it again, it looks like that, and again, right there. So we're just rotating and spinning that triangle. So rotations are spin movements about a point in which the object moves and it doesn't change size or shape. So notice the triangle is exactly the same size, but it does change direction. So rotations are typically only written in one way. It's a statement about a point, and for everything we do, it will always be the origin. And then it's going to give you a degree measure. So how far are we rotating? We're rotating 90 degrees, 180 degrees, etc. And then it will tell you a direction. So rotating 90 degrees. So if I were to take this and rotate it 90 degrees, I'm going to flip it and turn it sideways. So either of these would be a 90-degree rotation. So that creates a need for us to have a direction, right? Because if both of these are a rotation of 90 degrees, then which one's the correct one? Well, we need to tell which way we're rotating. And the way we do that is by talking about it in terms of clockwise and counterclockwise. So if you notice, we have a clock here, and the numbers go in a certain direction. So a clockwise rotation would rotate this way. A counterclockwise rotation would rotate this way. Now, understanding the graph. So if you notice, we have our x and y axes here, and it ends up forming these 4 boxes. Now, every movement, every time we rotate 90 degrees, we're going to move from one box to the next. So, for instance, if we had our triangle here, and I said I want to move 90 degrees clockwise, I'm going to take that triangle and move it in the direction of a clock, and it's going to move down into this box. Now, if I want to go 180 degrees clockwise, well, that means I move 2 boxes because 180 is just 90 times 2. So we move 1, 2 boxes, and we end up over here. Now, if we want to go 270, now that's 3 boxes. So 1, 2, 3, and we end up over here. So how do we rotate these things? So the first thing we need to do is write out the coordinates. So, for instance, this is 1, 1, this is 5, 1, and this is 3, 5. Those are the coordinates. Then we decide which box we're rotating into. Let's say we're going to rotate into this box here. So that would be a 90-degree clockwise rotation. The rule is, for every 90 degrees that you rotate, you're going to flip your x's and y's. So your x's become your y's, and your y's become your x's. So 3, 5 would become 5, 3. So for every 90, we flip them. So we change this to 5, 3. We change this one to 1, 1. And we change this one to 1, 5. And then we need to match the signs with the box that we're in. So over here we have positive x's and negative y's. So we're going to change all of our y's to be negative. So 1, negative 1, 1, negative 5, and 5, negative 3. And then we can plot our points and just draw it in. And notice this should be the exact same triangle, just spun around into this box here. So let's look at an example. So we're going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. So again, write out your coordinates. So there's my coordinates, -3, 6, negative 6, 4, and negative 3, 0. Then we're going to decide which box we're rotating into. So we're going counterclockwise, so we're spinning this direction, and we're going 90 degrees. So everything should go from this box to this box. Then we're only going 90 degrees, so we're going to flip all of our x's and y's. So that means negative 3, 6 is going to become 6, 3. Negative 6, 4 is going to become 4, 6. And negative 3, 0 is going to become 0, 3. Now notice I don't care about the signs yet because I'm going to have to figure that out later anyway. Now I match the signs. Well, over here my x's are negative and my y's are negative. So all of these are going to become negatives. So this should be negative 6, negative 3, negative 4, negative 6, and 0, negative 3. Then I go ahead and plot these. So negative 6, negative 3. So negative 6, negative 3. 0, negative 3 goes there. And we plot each of these, and notice now I have my triangle that's exactly the same, just spun around. Now what about 180 degrees counterclockwise? Well, now again, we write out the coordinates. The coordinates are exactly the same as before. So now we decide which box we're rotating into. So we're going counterclockwise, so here, and it's 180 degrees, so we're moving 2 boxes this time. So 1, 2. So we're over here. For every 90 we flip, so we're going to flip, so the x's become the y's, and the y's become the x's. That moves us into this box. Then when we go back, we end up back where we started, really, right? So our x's are back to being our x's, and our y's are back to being our y's. So we flip, and then we flip them again. And then now we need to match the signs. So over here we have positive x's and negative y's. So we have positive x's, negative y's. And then we plot each of those points and then draw in our triangle. And notice now it's a perfect rotation. Now 90 degrees clockwise, same thing, write out the coordinates. Decide which box we're rotating into. Well, 90 clockwise is going this direction, so it goes into this box here. And then for every 90, flip them. So 3, 6 becomes 6, 3, and so on. Then we match the signs. Over here, we are positive and positive, so these stay exactly like that. We plot our points, connect the dots, and now we have our triangle that's exactly the same.
Let's talk now about how to sign in to Desmos to complete your work. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the link to go to the assignment, and it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. And right here where it says sign in with Google, we're going to click there. And it's going to pop up with our email accounts. You're going to click on your school email account, and it should already have you logged in because you should have already been logged in using Google Classroom. From there, I'm just going to click Start the Activity, and it will take me into the assignment and allow me to begin. So that's how you will log in to Desmos using Google.
Let's take a look now at the rotations assignment. The assignment begins with the learning goals and success criteria. If we scroll down, there's a link here to take you to the Desmos activity. Go ahead and click on that link, and it should take you to a page that looks like this. We'll go ahead and click Start the Activity. The activity begins with the learning goals and success criteria as well. We'll go ahead and click Next. Now it says plot the points on the graph that represent a rotation of 30 degrees clockwise. So what I want to do first is I want to figure out where I'm going to end up. So if I go clockwise, the clock goes like this. So I know I'm going to end up here in this box. So I'm just going to put a little star here just to remind me that's where I'm ending up. Now from that, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. So I take all my x's and flip them into being y's. So this is 2, 1. So it becomes 1, 2. So 1, 2 in this part. Then this one is 1, 3. So that becomes 3, 1. Right there. This one is 4, 6. So it becomes 6, 4. Right there. So there's my points. I go ahead and use my connector tool to connect the dots. And there's my triangle. I go ahead and hit check it. And then we'll go ahead and click next. Now for this one, it says to rotate it 180 degrees. So in order to do that, we know we're going to end up over here. And my x's stay my x's and my y's stay my y's because I'm going to go ahead and flip them twice. So 2, 1 just stays 2, 1. So this is 2, 1. And then we have 1, 3 stays 1, 3. And then 4, 6 stays 4, 6. So 4, 6. So there's my points. I use my connector tool to connect the dots. I hit check it, and we can see that we did it correctly. So you'll do that for each of these until you get to the end of the activity. Once you get to the end of the activity, we'll go ahead and go back to the Google form and click Next. This will take you to your Before You Go. Go ahead and fill out your Before You Go and then submit your work on Google Classroom.